Hello friends, welcome in the world of business study. In the last 8 discussions, we have covered chapter number 1, that is nature and significance of management, and have also covered chapter number 2, that is principles of management of NCERT. Now, in this discussion, I'll be starting with chapter number 3 of NCERT, that is business environment. Now, in this discussion, I'll be covering the topics like meaning of business environment features, importance of business environment. Now moving to the first slide, that is meaning of business environment. Business environment means the sum total of those factors which influence the business and over which the business has no control. Business environment is the aggregate of all the conditions, events and influence that surrounds and affect it. It was said by Keith Davis. Now, business environment can also be understood in a very simple way, that is, in general terms, business environment refers to the sum total of all the various factors available in the internal as well as external environment of the business. In fact, for all-round development of a business organization, it is too essential that the organization should be aware of internal as well as external factors which exist in the business world and which can influence the business activities either directly or indirectly. Hence, if business organization does not aware about the internal and external factors which exist in the business world, then it will become too difficult to them to face threats which available in the business world as well as to take optimum benefits by exploiting the available opportunities. Now, it is clearly clarified that analysis of business environment is too potent to every business organization to get perfect knowledge about threats and opportunities available in the business world. In this modern business competitive era, every business organization longs to retain sin by means of providing willful service and commodity to the customers. But it is not easy for organization without analyzing an internal and external factors which are existing in market. Hence, internal factors are those factors on which organization have some control. On the other hand, external forces can be described as factors upon which organization have no control. Basically, here it wanted to explain that we have some control over the internal factors. We can make changes in an organization only on the internal factors, but external factors cannot be controlled by anyone. Now moving to the next slide, that is business environment features. Now the first one is that totality of external forces. Business environment is the sum total of all those factors or forces which are available outside the business and over which the business has no control. It is the group of many such forces, that is why its nature is of totality. Now moving to the next one, that is specific and general forces. The forces present outside the business can be divided into two parts, specific and general. I'll be explaining you the specific and general in detail. Now what is specific? Specific, they are the forces which affect the firm of an industry separately. Example, customer, supplier, competitive firm, investors, etc. Now the next one, that is general. Then general, they are those forces which affect all the firms of an industry equally, that is social, political, legal and technical situations. Now moving to the next feature, that is interrelatedness. The different factors of business environment are correlated. For example, let us suppose that there is a change in the import-export policy with the coming of a new government. In case the coming of a new government to power and changing in the import-export policy are political and economical changes respectively. Thus, a change in one factor affects the other factor. Now the next one, that is dynamic nature. As It is clear that environment is a mixture of many factors and changes in some or the other factors continue to take place. Therefore, it is said that business environment is dynamic. Next one, uncertainty. Uncertainty is an inherent characteristics of business environment because no one can predict what is going to happen in future. Next one, that is complexity. There are many forces, events and conditions that constitute business environment arising from various sources, so it is a bit difficult to understand the relative influence of a particular factor on operation or of the organization. Now the last one is relativity. The notion of the business environment is relative since it varies from one location to another. These were all the features regarding to business environment. We'll move to the next slide, that is importance of business environment. There are few importance of business environment such as it enables the firm to identify proper opportunities and getting the first mover advantage. It helps the firm to identify threats and early warning of signals. It helps in tapping useful resources. It helps in coping with rapid changes. It helps in assessing in planning and policy formulation. And the last one is it helps in improving performance. Now each and every importance I am going to explain you briefly. Coming to the first one, that is it enables the firm to identify opportunities and getting the first mover advantage. The study of business environment enables us to know about the opportunities available. A company which is more conscious about the changes taking place in the business environment is the first mover. It takes the advantage of it by becoming the first supplier. In other words, a company which has capacity to know the possibilities of the opportunities available can be greatest beneficiary. Now moving to the next one, that is it helps the firm to identify threats and early warning signals. Along with the availability of opportunities provided by the study of business environment, we also come to know about the threats accompanying them. If the knowledge about the threat is available in time, efforts can easily be made to face or surmount them. This is possible only by regularly studying the changes taking place in the business environment. For example, there was a time when customer got satisfied at the source supply of cars in the market. Earlier, when we used to book some cars, we need to book it right now and the delivery used to get after a long period of time. It was never happened that when you go to buy a car and you'll get the car at that particular date only. For example, the Maruti Udyog Limited was sharp enough to recognize the threat of new companies entering the market in time. Before the companies could do anything, the Maruti Udyog Limited was able to increase the supply of car manifold and was able to nullify the effect of possible threat. In this way, Maruti forestalled the possible danger by the study of business environment. If the company would not have taken such step, it would not be able to survive in that competitive market. So every companies need to take some certain steps, study the business environment so that it can take steps and could survive in that competitive environment. Now moving to the third importance, that is it helps in tapping useful resources. An organization needs a member of resources to carry on its business, that is material, machine, man. M4. The same trick to remember was explained in previous discussion. Now, with the help of those resources, goods and services are produced. A business gets resources from environment and provides goods and services to the same environment. A study of business environment tells business the requirements of an environment and what can it make available to get its needs fulfilled. Therefore, it is possible to get useful resources from the business environment. Now the fourth one, that is it helps in coping with rapid changes. These days, business is being run in a rapidly changing environment. Various factors connected with business, example, competition, fashion, number of customers, technology, etc., are changing quickly. Change do not affect business as much as the rapidity of the changes. It means that if the speed of the change is little less, it can be faced with comparative ease, but to face the rapidity of change is very difficult task. This can be possible only by constant vigil over the business environment and studying its simultaneously presence. Now the fifth one, that is, it helps in assessing in planning and policy formulation. Knowledge of business environment presents the basis for planning and policy. For example, the ITC hotels decide to establish many new hotels abroad and in India only after a careful study of the business environment. They felt that tourism industry was the biggest industry in the world. Its future was particularly bright in India. The government has also a special interest in the development of the industry because of many reasons. For example, the receipt for the foreign exchange, increase of employment, etc. Here the receipt doesn't mean the receipt which you get from the after purchasing a particular item. It is the receipt which is used in account terms. You have receipt for the payment, receipt bill, payment bill, which we study in accounts. The ITC hotels formulated their future strategy on the basis of this information. In this way, anyone can defeat their competitors by formulating their plans. Now the sixth one and the last one, that it helps in improving performance. The enterprise that continuously monitor their environment and adopt suitable business practices are the ones which not only improve their present performance but also continue to succeed in the market for a longer period of time. These were all which we need to discuss in this discussion. Now in the next discussion, I'll be covering the topics like dimension of business environment, economic environment in India, economic changes initiated by the government of India, and changes initiated by government of India to modernize India's industrial system. Let us know your doubt or any specific query below in the comment section. Till then, enjoy studying business studies.